Welcome back to The Verdict. It's our continuing coverage of the 2019 general elections. Let me go straight on to Eze Chukwuemeka of INEC. Speaking about logistics now, this is huge for elections every cycle. Have you been to the field? What did you see when you went there? Eze Chukwuemeka. Yeah, he's in Abuja, still there. Okay, can't get there now, but I'll come to that in a moment. But, you know, when they speak about logistics, let me see, we'll go to our correspondent, Chris Lambs. He is in the field at the moment. Chris, what's going on? What do you see where you are?
Chamberlain, thank you so very much. This is Oka, the Anambra State capital, and it's been quite wonderful right here, starting from the weather. In the morning, it was partly sunny, but right now it is very sunny, with temperature put at about 30 degrees Celsius, and this is expected to rise to about 34 by 3 p.m. and then 19 much later in the day. I mean, what this means is that by tomorrow, the state will definitely have a very favorable weather conditions for the electorate to come out and cast their vote. For now, the state or the city is very peaceful. Everything is working well. People are actually enthusiastic about voting tomorrow. We've not had incidents of violence recorded besides the Ajale fire incident yesterday. And of course, when I spoke with the police public relations officer earlier in the day, he said so far there are about 4 places that have been identified as hot spots. We're talking about Obosi, Onitsha, Ekulobia, and of course this Ajale. And what they've done is to actually deploy more men to these areas to tackle any incidents of violence that may erupt. But aside from that one, every other part of the state has been very peaceful. Sensitive materials have actually been moved to the local government areas. As at this morning, they had just a few of the local governments that haven't been reached out to. But I'm sure by now they would have been, also covered those areas. Now, one area of concern for me was when the PPRO actually said about 4,000 policemen were deployed, you know, across the state, and yet the polling units are about 4,500 polling units. So what happens to the shortfall? But he said that there is a synergy going on between the police and other security agencies, such as the NSCDC and, of course, the military. They are all are working together to ensure that no threat to the election stands. Today also I have the privilege of the presence of the state commandant of the NSCDC. She's with me. She would also be talking to us on people that have been deployed for this election. If the police deployed 4,000, how many did the NSCDC deploy for this election? Madam, it's good to have you with us. How many men did you actually deploy for this election in Anambra State?
It's my pleasure to grant you this interview. First and foremost, my name is Commandant Tobi Ajola Begeli. I'm the State Commandant of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom State Command. Coming to the election, we are fielding 847 personnel, out of which 200 are arm bearers for now. And working in synergy with other people, I think we have reasonable number to contain whatever might arise. Okay.
Recently we had the IPOB issuing a threat for a boycott of the election, and we've also had incidents of cultism all around. And I think these are all threats to the election itself. From your threat analysis, what can you really see going on?
Actually, those threats are there, but because of the synergy that exists in this particular state, we've been able to meet several times, plan strategies on how to contend them. And I can assure you that we are really very prepared to contend those threats.
Okay, I just talked about the shortfall in the numbers of personnel. Police, 4,000 policemen, and then the polling units, about 4,500, you know. So isn't this a big challenge right now to security of lives and property?
It's a big challenge, but you have to make do with what you have. That's where management comes in. If you manage well, you will manage the situation well. Right now, it's not only police and the Civil Defense Corps that is involved in this election. All security agencies, including drug law agency, enforcement agency, we are putting our heads together, and all of us are going to tackle this. So no matter how, we have already planned on how to meet up.
So how soon are you deploying your men to these polling units, or have you deployed already?
We've deployed. I can assure you my men, they've all moved to all their various polling booths. As today, they started moving this morning. And our patrol team, we've already portioned where they're going to be. We scheduled them in 3 senatorial districts, and then in the all collection centers, even in the INEC headquarters here, we have our men on ground. So they have already moved. And the ones that have not moved now, the one we stationed at the national state headquarters here, who are going to attend to certain emergencies around. So for now, we have all deployed.
And so for the citizens who are probably still apprehensive, they're still afraid, what would you want to tell them right now?
We've assured them of their security. Actually, just like I told you, we have a good synergy among security agencies here. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, our major mandate, one of our major mandates is to secure lives and property of the citizenry as per disaster management. In that disaster management, we take care of every citizenry. Wherever there's any problem anywhere, we are interested in saving the lives of the populace first. Jointly with all other security agencies, just like I told you, we planned already, like at Nizam, Anam, and other places we have spotted out as being hotspots. We are going to increase our deployment there. We are going to have heavy deployments around those corners to contain. And I'm assuring the citizens they shouldn't bother. We are already there. We are ready to do the election. We've been prepared for a long time. We had a lot of trainings, trained by INEC, trained by Orientation Agency, and the one we have in-house, we had in-house as well. Security agencies met, we had enough talks, and we have agreed on the modalities to use to contain everything and make the lives and the property of the citizenry safe during this election. So I'd assure them they shouldn't bother, they should come out and vote. We are there.
So about logistics, have you actually also sorted that welfare of your men?
Yes, it has been sorted out.
Okay.
It has been sorted out.
Thank you so very much. Well, that's the state commandant of the NSCDC right here, Obiajilu. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully before the day runs out, we should be able to get in touch with the State Commissioner of Police and even the CSO, the Chief Security Officer of the state, that is the Governor, Willie Obiano, so to get more information from them concerning tomorrow's election. From Oka in Anambra State, this is Chris Elems reporting. So back to you, Chamberlain, in Lagos.
Yes, indeed, and thank you, Chris, and well done. Well, Mr. Naji, this IPOP question where they keep talking about, well, today you can go out, tomorrow don't go out, well, the next day you can. Did it even affect anything? Because sometimes they say, look, you can't tell a number of people what to do, how they need to conduct themselves.
Yeah, I think people know that they should go out and vote because it is their right to do so. And that is also the more reason why the security agencies should be on the alert to ensure that those who want to exercise their right of not to vote do not interfere with the right of those who want to exercise their right to vote, if you get my drift. Because your right stops where my own starts. You cannot dictate to me within the ambit of the law how I should exercise what has been given to me as my own right. I can waive it, I can exercise it. So I do not think that the security agencies should be lax over this threat about people telling others not to vote, and then those people they are telling not to vote should ignore that exhortation, because at the end of the day, if you don't vote, there will be results.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Abuja, starting with Mr. Chukwuemeka Eze. I was trying to find out from you, I mean, have you been to the field? Because logistics is always a huge part of elections in terms of how this is going to turn out at the end of the day. Have you been to the field? Are there any challenges that you have noticed concerning logistics for this election?
Yeah, as you know, we are operating a very robust early warning system in partnership with ECOWAS. So we have deployed our monitors all over the country well ahead of the election. So I can just give you an idea of some of the concerns that have been raised. The first one is the ASU strike. A lot of people feel that there will be disenfranchisement of some students who have registered in their schools, and even as ASU have now called off the strike, that those students might not be able to get back to school because parents are saying, why don't you hold on until after the election? That's number one concern. The second one is that the issue that you have just raised over there, the issue of the statement by IPOB not to go out and vote, to boycott the election. While, yes, I agree that it may not have an enforcement, the truth of the matter is that a lot of people will be a bit scared about the likelihood of their going out to vote. So a lot of people might willingly or unwillingly decide to sit at home and boycott the election. The third concern that people have raised is about politicians who also use the media to organize some kind of press conferences while the election is going on. The statements they will make during that process, leading to even before the announcement of results, accusing INEC, accusing the security agents, accusing either the ruling party or the opposition political parties of having connived with these institutions that are going to be in charge of organizing the election. When they do that, what will happen is that there will be tension in the polity. The other issue is that people also try as much as possible to circulate fake results. The way they have done that in the past, not just in Nigeria, but in other African countries, is that they go to doctor past results and circulate online in their favor. So any other thing that INEC announces is like the election has been compromised. So that's also another concern that needs to be looked at. But like I said earlier on, people have also said that there should be a balance between deploying security where the security agencies have analyzed threats and ensuring that the presence of the security agents does not also affect the confidence of the citizens to go and vote. So these are the key concerns that have been raised. Okay, another issue is also people who might try to intimidate others through the use of the non-orthodox security outfits. You know, people coming to the polling stations to guide or guard politicians and how they will use that to intimidate political opponents. But at the INEC national briefing, the representative of the Inspector General made it very clear that they have passed message to all political parties that you are not allowed to come into a voting arena accompanied by either orthodox or unorthodox security outfits. So okay. I think that takes care of those concerns. But beyond that, I also think that there is a high level of interest amongst citizens to vote in this election. I am looking forward to an election that will have very high turnout.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you, Mr. Frank Uba and Mr. Uzi in a moment, but we need to also get an update from our correspondent in Enugu, Nkiru Ajogu.
Yes, I can confirm to you that the atmosphere in Enugu is very, very calm and peaceful, and expectations are really building up ahead of tomorrow. Campaigns by different political parties ended as at yesterday, and their conducts were quite commendable. And I can confirm to you that residents in Enugu are really ready to participate in tomorrow's election. A lot of them who are not registered within the metropolis are beginning to travel back to their area councils, to their registered wards, to participate in tomorrow's election. In the last 2 days, we've also seen joint security operatives showing force within the metropolis and, of course, outside the metropolis to show presence, to let the people know that they are here and they are committed to a peaceful and a secured conduct tomorrow. And we've also spoken to INEC, who confirmed to us that they are very quite ready, and hopefully they've deployed sensitive materials to the various 17 local government areas in the state to ensure that activities and the process starts quite early when it's scheduled to start tomorrow. And we'll be here again to bring you up to speed with happenings around Enugu. From Independence Layout, Enugu State, Nkiru Ajogu, Channels Television News.